What is one habit that helps me be productive? This was actually a question asked me recently in an interview with Entrepreneur Magazine. And without question, I gave them my number one habit that transforms all the rest. And I'll share that with you in this episode. And the second one is to have the best thinking tools. So I actually gave them two habits. So I'm going to share them with you. The first is probably not what you think. It'll likely surprise you. So get ready. I want you to gain some insights into how you can have an incredible life by being more present in this busy world. So I'm Doug Andrew. I've been a financial strategist and retirement planning specialist now for 5 decades, helping thousands of Americans optimize their assets, minimize taxes, and empower their authentic wealth. My wife and I, we are blessed to have 6 children, now 20 grandchildren. We've been married 50 years, and we feel so blessed. And I've learned some very powerful strategies in the 72 and a half years that I've been on planet Earth, okay? And so when Entrepreneur Magazine asked me the question, what's one habit? I had to share 2, okay? But here's the first one, and they weren't expecting it, okay? And I credit this to my good friend, Dr. Robert Cooper, who is one of the world's most renowned neuroscientists, okay? How the brain works. And so he called these moments that matter, okay? Every day, there are moments that really matter, okay? We get so caught up in the busyness of life that we usually only recognize maybe a dozen if we're lucky. But there's actually 100 to 200 every single day, and we miss them. So unfortunately, many of these moments that matter go unsensed, unseen, and unseized. So the first habit that I'm going to share with you is to move away from the unsensed moments to the sensed, the unseen to the seen, to the unseized to the seized. This will be a game changer with all your relationships, I assure you. That's why it's the one habit that will transform all the rest of your habits, okay? Now, let's make sure you're clear on what I mean by a moment that matters. What is a key moment in a given day, okay? When do they occur? And so there's 3 basic types, okay? There's planned moments. When you plan these, you're going to get up, you're going to have breakfast, maybe at breakfast with a client or whatever, and you're going to go to the office, and you're going to meet with these clients in the morning, these clients in the afternoon. You're going to do this. You're going to go play racquetball. You're going to go golfing. These are planned moments, okay? They may not all come to fruition, but they're planned moments. Then you have anticipated moments where you anticipate your client will move forward, or you anticipate winning the golf tournament, or you anticipate that you're going to get this accomplished or whatever, okay? But then you have the unexpected moments. These are the ones you didn't see coming. This is where you get rear-ended on the freeway. Your wife calls and says, hey, can you drop everything you're doing and take Susie to the emergency room? She's got to have some stitches. These are the things that you didn't see coming, okay? Now, this is what Dr. Robert Cooper, a neuroscientist, taught me. He said, Doug, the brain actually keeps track of how we as humans handle these moments, these key moments. He says, do you get negatively entangled in pressure-packed moments, which we all have, crisis and deadlines and insults and everything, and this neural negativity and resistance, this resentment, is what becomes general in your life, and all you see is what's going wrong in your life, and you deem everything as an interruption, or do you use these moments, even the interruptions, as catalysts to become better than ever and move on quickly and constructively? And the neural positivity and learning and growth is what becomes general. This is a huge difference. You focus on what's going right and why that was an awesome day, even though something bad happened. How did you turn that bad experience into a positive outcome, okay? So when we talk about this, I have two general moments that matter, okay? One, I categorize it as this. When wisdom calls, okay? When wisdom knocks or calls, I have learned not to let it go to voicemail. Or back before we had voicemail, I used to say, when wisdom calls, don't give it a busy signal. But young people today go, what's a busy signal? Okay, if you're my age, you know what a busy signal was when you had called somebody's phone and they were busy. They were talking to somebody else. Okay. Well, don't let it go to, don't give it a busy signal. Don't send to other people, I'm busy, quit bothering me. Don't interrupt me. People make a mistake of doing that in grocery stores when somebody asks for help. We do it as parents to the people we love the most. When our son or daughter comes and Daddy, hey, look what I made. I have a question, Daddy. Can't you see I'm on the computer? How many times have I told you, son, not to bother me while I'm on the computer reading the newspaper? Well, pretty soon your child realizes they're not important as your newspaper, and so they stop coming to you, and then they go to their peers for advice. Hello? Okay. The other is split-second turns. Now, I have been guilty of ignoring both of these, but I have learned in my life that when wisdom calls, spend this time with your mother. Call Sherry, my wife. It was good that I did. I paid attention instead of ignoring it. There's so many times when I was so grateful when wisdom called that I didn't let it go to voicemail. What's a split-second turn? That's when you have something unexpected happen, okay, and somebody rear-ends you on the freeway. Or like one time I was in a gym lifting kettlebells and I wasn't paying attention. I lifted the kettlebell so fast when I come down to catch it. This is an exercise we do to get ready to go skiing every year. It hit my teeth and it busted my two front teeth. I had seminars to teach. Everybody in the whole gym heard that kettlebell ring. But I was able to get hold of my dentist and he put me in the chair first thing, even though it was an hour away, and he saved my teeth and he gave me pain medication and I was able to still have an incredible day in spite I busted my two front teeth, okay? You don't look at what went wrong. You look at what blessings, what went right in spite of what went wrong. You learn to train your brain to focus on what went right, what's going right, instead of what goes wrong. This is huge. If you have children that are always looking at what's going wrong, why the teacher didn't call on them, or the bullies still bullied me today. This is one of the number one reasons, because I've sat on boards of directors for teenage suicide prevention. This is why they feel like life's not worth living, because they feel like they're losing the game of life. They're always focused on what's going wrong. You flip that by have them reporting every day, hey, name 3 things that went right today. Name 3 wins. And all of a sudden they start looking for the things that are going right because at first they don't recognize them. You have to train your brain to recognize the positives instead of the negatives. Now, to be honest with you, you know the kinds of people that are scarcity-minded. They're victims. They're always taking offense. They're always looking at how they're trying to twist whatever you said or did that you were trying to offend them. Bless their heart. I wish I could help them to get out of that captivity mindset, that victim mindset, and start looking at possibilities and what's going right instead of what's going wrong. Instead of being a victim, why don't you be a hero, okay? And so Dr. Robert Cooper taught me this one habit. It transformed all the rest. This is how he put it. He said, to recognize moments that matter, you've got to be more present. Okay, you're here at any given moment during a day. First, train your brain to notice when your child comes to interrupt you. Don't deem it an interruption. If you're helping a customer, they're not an interruption of your work. They're the very purpose of your work, okay? So many people don't understand this. And so you have to take notice that this moment matters to you or somebody. 2, you pause just for an instant to arouse curiosity. Is this a moment that matters? Instead of reacting automatically. Can't you see I'm busy? Blah, 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 blah. And then you go into this unconscious, repeated process, and you get entrenched in this mindless reaction state. Now, don't react, be proactive. 3, lean in. Lean into what's possible in this brief moment with your son, your daughter, your spouse, with your customer, with your client, with the person that bumped your car. And then 4, you become better, more capable, caring, creative than ever before. Now, that 4-step process, which I keep up in my brain, has made all the difference in the world. When you develop this habit will transform all your other habits. Now, the second habit I shared with Entrepreneur Magazine sort of goes hand in hand, and this is to always have in your brain thinking tools. You don't need the physical tool, but when you use a physical tool enough, you'll have the mental image of it, okay? And so this is key number 9 that I teach a lot of professionals. Use the best tools. Identify the smallest changes that will have the biggest impact. Here's why. What Dr. Robert Cooper taught me is that if we can feed our brain positive neural feedback, okay, that you feel like you're winning the game of life because you're focusing on what's going right instead of what's going wrong, and then you're able to handle life. But if all you're doing is feeling like you're losing the game of life and that life just sucks, good luck, okay? You will lose the game of life. So this is what I do with any projects or ideas that I get. I look at all the different ideas, and then I, first of all, pick one of the initiatives for the next period, the next year, the next month, or whatever, the smallest change that will have the biggest impact. The smallest amount of time, energy, money, effort that will have the biggest impact. Why? Well, because it will give me positive neural feedback. That if I accomplish this, and I get to this point in January, this point in February and March, I will have accomplished this goal. All the other goals that are going to take a whole year, now I feel like I can tackle them because I've actually accomplished some of my goals. If I try to tackle the ones that are going to take the whole year, I get discouraged. Oh, this is taking so long. My brain needs positive feedback. You know what I do every day? I write down a list of things to do. Do you do that? How many of you do this? If I don't get around to writing my to-do list until 9 or 10 a.m., but I got up at 5 a.m., and in a typical day, if I go with my wife to our trainer and we work out from 6 to 7, and from 7 to 8, I read scriptures or read a book, and then from 8 to 9, I get ready for the day and eat a good breakfast, nutritional breakfast, what have you. And then I sit down and I finally write down, here's my to-dos for today. Now, how many of you do this? I write down, even though I've already accomplished them, get up at 5 a.m., exercise and work out with my wife, read scriptures or a book, get ready and eat a nutritional breakfast. And then I start writing the rest of the to-do from 9 o'clock on. And then I go through and I cross out. Yeah, okay. Why do I do that? I've already accomplished it. Why should I waste paper? It's because it gives me positive neural feedback. That just crossing out that I've already accomplished 4 things that I intended to do that day gives me positive feedback that I'm already well on the way to a good day. Any of you do that? If you don't, you ought to try it, okay? But with all of my different networks, the general public or financial advisors, I have over 32 thinking tools. The Project Clarifier. I teach my kids and grandkids how to do this during our annual Grandpa's Camp because they don't learn how to do critical thinking in college. Can you believe that? And so the Project Clarifier. I don't need the sheet of paper in front of me because I have this memorized in my head. See, this spells success, S-U-C-C-E-S-S. I have all those memorized because I've used it so much. If I am determining if I should engage with this client or this financial advisor or this speaking opportunity, I fill out the engagement filter. And I don't even have to have this in front of me because I know how to score any opportunity on a scale of -1 to +5 in 5 different criteria. How is this going to impact this for everybody? Will it magnify my expertise? Will it create recommendations? Okay. Will it leverage my unique ability? And will it multiply? Will the whole be greater than the sum of the parts? If it scores, 24, 25, I do it. If not, I delegate or I walk away from it. You've got to simplify your life. If I have a problem or an issue, I fill out a solution formulator. And so I don't need this form because I have it memorized, but if I have the form, I fill out what's the project, what's the big picture, what will be true if I solve this issue, what are the biggest benefits I'll derive, what are the biggest barriers I need to overcome, what are the best resources to use, what are the greatest opportunities that I need to seize, and then I write down the date. It's just a thinking tool. What I'm sharing with you is when Entrepreneur Magazine said, Doug, what is one habit, and I've given you 2, that helps me be productive? I have many more. But moments that matter. Train yourself to notice moments, pause for an instant, lean into what's possible, and become better. And if you need to think through, you use thinking tools, project clarifiers, solution formulators. You want to, where can I get these? They're for our people who subscribe to our entitlement abolition program, okay? How to abolish entitlement mindset with your kids and grandkids and teach responsibility and accountability. All these tools are available. If you join IUL Insiders as an insurance professional, you have access to all these tools. It'll be a game changer. When you learn how to do this, these habits will help your productivity go through the roof. This is not about me. This is about you and your brighter future. So here's to your brighter future.